concerns. A flustered and ill-at-ease Mr. Hoffman objected to the heated questioning, saying he should have been provided a list of questions he might be asked. He was, if he had taken the time to read the Thursday Morning Times editorial, raising the very same questions. To Mr. Hoffman's rescue, former House Majority Leader and current lead teabaggist Dick Armey. Armey perhaps scratching his head over why constituents would be more interested in, say, the St. Lawrence Seaway than perhaps socialism, dismissed the region's concerns as parochial, and told the Daily Times that Mr. Hoffman's lack of knowledge would not determine the outcome of the election. Bring in Scotia Faba supporter and apparent Adirondack region expert Newt Gingrich, who last night called out his possible 2012 rivals for going rogue on their own party.
So I say to my many conservative friends who've suddenly decided that whether they're from Minnesota or Alaska or Texas, they know more than the upstate New York Republicans. I don't think so. And I don't think it's a good precedent. And I think if this third-party candidate takes away just enough votes to elect the Democrat, then we will have strengthened Nancy Pelosi by the divisiveness. We will not have strengthened the conservative movement.
Time now to be joined here by Margaret Carlson, political columnist for Bloomberg News and Washington editor for The Week magazine. Good evening, Margaret.
Good evening, Keith.
I'm fascinated by Dick Armey's use of that one adjective. The residents' local concerns are parochial. Aren't they supposed to be?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm allowed to be parochial, it's nice to be on set here with you, Keith,
Thank you very much.
New York State. Nobody, I bet no one in these events in New York really cares what Doug Hoffman thinks about Afghanistan. Maybe not even socialism, as you say. You know, the more local the office, the more you need to know, actually. A presidential candidate, you know, they're talking in broad strokes.
Macro.
You're running for mayor or a congressional seat, New York 23. They want to know a lot about what you're going to do about milk price supports and what's going on in the St. Lawrence Seaway and what's going on down the street at the VFW. That's what they want to know. And so usually the guys like Newt Gingrich are saying that's exactly what you should be doing.
I remember once asking Lynn Swan, right after he launched his campaign for governor of Pennsylvania, which we've all forgotten about, something about some headline out of the Philadelphia paper. I literally just pulled it off the website about dredging the Schuylkill. And he thought I had made up a word. He didn't know what the Schuylkill was. And I was like, okay, they're not going to win that fight. Well, in fairness,
he is a football player.
Well, yeah, but some football players have made decent politicians.
He might have taken a few bad hits.
No, he was very good at avoiding that. Gingrich and Palin and Pawlenty complaining this point that more local control in government is not really being sort of represented by this idea that you would then go against the local Republican Party. Are we getting a sense that for certain people like Governor Palin, it isn't really an issue of local control? It's just a brand name that sounds good?
It's just what sounds good. I mean, actually, Newt Gingrich used to not feel that way.
Yes.
And this is Sarah Palin's first real foray. Remember, she quit being governor so she could do this sort of thing, but she's been busy writing the book, so finally she's out. Now, she does do this from the comfort of her laptop and her Facebook account. However, she inserted herself, and while she may not have a big army, she has a fervent one, and it has completely upended this race, so that in one poll, Doug Hoffman is actually ahead. And of course, she has her Greek chorus with Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh now picking up. I don't think anybody else was paying much attention to this race until Sarah spoke.
Right. These broadcasts started coming out of Ice Station Zebra saying, you know, let's get this. But it's not a proxy fight. It's not who's leading the which way the Republican Party is going to go philosophically. This is, I'm Sarah Palin and my influence should be bigger than Newt Gingrich, isn't it? That's what it boils down to?
Well, now it does. It did turn into a fight between the two of them. And who knew that this week, or maybe Sarah did, that Newt Gingrich was going to toy with the idea of running for president. So actually, he's taking the bigger picture. We are all Republicans. And I never thought I would hear Newt Gingrich arguing for a bigger tent. Remember, he was not the guy who wanted anything to do with the bigger tent when he was king of the hill.
Is there enough time left before the election for him to actually, he didn't call her out by name. He called her out by state. And as I said, I don't think he was talking about one of the Murkowskis. Is there enough time left that it actually gets, you know, the knife comes unsheathed and he actually takes down Sarah Palin?
I suspect you hope so, Keith.
I'm just asking.
It would be good for the show.
Well,
no, but
they seem to be doing a lot of things that are good for the show. I mean, I'm not trying to tell them their business.
Yes, you're not wanting for topics.
No.
You know, remember the conservative crack-up? We've had several. One was after Goldwater lost by 22 points. He won his own state and a few in the Deep South. A lot of it played out in the midterm elections. Had it not been for the Democrats screwing up, I doubt that in 70 Nixon would have won. However, as this plays out, we will see the knife fight between Newt Gingrich and Sarah Palin, because they are now, as of this week, two distinct wings of the Republican Party.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, and for the rest of the current presidential administration. Margaret Carlson of Bloomberg News and the Week magazine, it's good to see you in person.
Thank you, Keith.
Thanks for coming in.